Hi everyone, today I'm going to be playing OctoDice, which is a fast fun dice version of Aquasphere. Now it's going to be a solo version here. The only difference is that in the normal game you'll see everyone gets to do 2 rounds of rolling and doing actions each, and you've got 2 extra spaces where you can use the dice of other players. But since we don't have any other players to use the dice of, we are just going to get an extra round of rolling, so you could just imagine that this bottom row here just looks exactly the same as the others. Okay, so we do the actions by rolling these dice. So you roll all 6 dice, and then I'm going to need to pick 2 of these to keep, and then roll the rest. So let's take, maybe a submarine, and let's just go for blue. It doesn't really matter at the moment since we haven't got anything rolled. And then, oh, that's not as good. Let's go for a white robot. And, oh, 2 octopods, that's not bad. Okay, so I can now mix these up however I like. But the octopods aren't used for actions, they'll be used in a second. So I can either make a blue robot or a white robot. Since I haven't got any at the moment, it doesn't matter which I pick. So let's just go for white robot. So that is going to score me 1 point. And then my second action, I get to do 2, is going to be to make a blue submarine. Now submarines score 0 points on their own. They will score, after every 3 rounds, there's going to be an intermediate scoring, and they are going to give me points if I have robots of the corresponding colour. So now I'm on the lookout for a white submarine and some blue robots to score me some more points. After the 2 actions, I then get to catch octopods. And I have rolled 2 octopods, which is lucky because every round I need to roll at least 2 to avoid losing 2 points. So I can now cross all of this off because I've caught 2 octopods. And if we look over here, there's a bonus if you manage to roll more than 1 octopod. So I have earned an extra point for rolling 2 octopods at once. You can see there can be crazy points bonuses if you manage to roll 6, but obviously the more octopods you roll, the less actions you'll be able to do that round. And that was the whole first round, so let's go for the second round. We roll again, and I think it would be nice to get some lab upgrades, so let's save those 2 and roll the rest. And let's go for a white submarine. We were looking for a white submarine. And roll again. And a red robot. So again, I can mix these up however I like, but I think I like how I kept them. So let's go for lab upgrades. You'll notice there's nothing on the score sheet for scoring labs because we get to move these cubes down. I'll give you a quick overview of what the lab upgrades are. You'll see there are types like this with the 1 times and the arrow. They mean that once per round you'll get to do something like turn a yellow on the black dice to anything. Use a research symbol as if it was a robot symbol. This lets you use 1 submarine symbol as an octopod, even if you use the submarine symbol for an action. Then there are upgrades where you get extra points. So if I did a submarine action, I would get an extra point. A lab action would give me an extra point, or a crystal action would give me an extra point. And these bottom ones are used at the end of the game. So at the end of the game, I would get points based on how many rows I managed to get to the columns I managed to get to the bottom of, or I can get points based on every round that I managed to avoid the octopod menace, or this super level. If I got to the bottom of this, at the end of the game I would get to pick one of my other cubes and jump them to the bottom of the column that they're in. So the lab action cares about the number on the dice. Since I haven't got any upgrades, I need the number of the level I want to move down to. So I need a 0, which I've got, and I think I'm going to move into this sub plus upgrade. So that was my first action, do a lab and move down there. My second action is going to be a submarine action, since I said I was after a white submarine. So I can cross that off, and since I have the sub plus upgrade, that once would score me no points, but now scores me 1 point. And I didn't roll any octopods, so got no bonuses for that. And now we do the third round of rolling. So let's go for, I like the look of more lab work, so let's keep those two. I don't quite like the look of it that much, especially since the 1 is only useful for this column that we've already moved down a little bit in. We need a 0 to move down in these ones, so let's roll these again. Oh, and I do have a 0 now, so maybe it would have been good to keep those. So let's see here. I think I am going to do a lab upgrade with the 0 here, and you'll see why in a second. No, I'm not. Okay, let's change our mind. Let's go back to the original plan. I had a silly thought for a second. So the lab action is going to score me no points, but I get to move down here. So in the future now I'll be able to use a submarine as if it was an octopod once, even if I use the submarine as something else. And then these two actions, I am going to use the crystal action, and you'll see here 5 times in the game I can gather crystals, and they're going to score me points equal to the value on the black dice. So we can cross off that circle there to show that we've done the crystal action once, and it has scored us 1 point because there's 1 on the black dice. And that's it. So now we can do intermediate scoring. So first we look at octopods. If you didn't catch 2, you lose 2 points. Luckily I did. Then we look at submarines. The white submarine is going to score me 1 point because I have a white robot. The blue submarine is going to score me nothing, so I get 1 extra point there. So we see in this first round I scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we just keep going. So let's go again. And I think I'm going to take this robot and the blue because I want blue robots. And oh, I could do a double blue robot turn. Let's see what the other dice give me. Oh, let's roll that again. A blue crystal. So whatever I want, it's going to be with a blue on the black dice. But let's go for these 2 that I've kept up here. So the first action is going to be a blue robot worth 1 point. And the second action is going to be a blue robot worth 2 points. And no bonuses for octopods. So I think that was quite a good turn. So what have we got this time? Let's go for, a lab action with a 2. Might be nice to get out of the way. And let's do a submarine. See, I don't really want to keep both of these octopod dice. Let's keep 1. Yeah, that's better. So I'm going to get another lab upgrade, which is going to score me no points, but it's going to be for level 2, and so I will move my cube down here. Now I still get the benefits of these levels that I've moved down. So my second action is going to be to build a red submarine, and while I haven't got any red robots yet, that scores me 1 point because of the bonus I got up here. And now we can do octopods. I've rolled 2 dice, so I get to cross off both of these on my score sheet and the -2 points. And I've rolled 2, and we look on the chart, that's 1 bonus point, but I do have this lab upgrade which lets me use a submarine as if it was an octopod, even if I've used the submarine for something else. So I've really rolled 3 octopods, which is 3 bonus points. So that's very nice. So new round. Let's roll the dice, and what will I keep this time? Let's maybe start some research. I haven't done any research yet. Roll the other 4, And a white robot is something that I was looking for. And a lab action. I don't think I'm going to use that. So I think I'm going to use these pairs that I kept up here. The research action, for that we come over here, and you'll notice that there's these coloured circles with arrows pointing downwards. We need to start with a yellow research action and move through the colours in order, scoring more and more points each time, but you can only do the action if you have the specific colour that it needs. And I rolled a yellow, so I can cross off this and score 1 point. The next action is going to be to get a white robot, which scores me 2 points and is great because I've already got the white submarine. And that's it for this section. So we can have another intermediate scoring. I caught 2 octopods, so I'm not going to lose 2 points. And my submarines are a lot more useful this round. I've got 2 blue robots and 2 white robots, so that is going to score me 4 points overall. And this round is a lot better than the first round. So 3, 6, 7, 11, 14 points. And we move on to the last little section. And we'll get one more intermediate scoring and then the final score. Okay, so what shall we keep this time? I think, should we try and, yeah, let's do some more research. Giving up on the octopods, but hopefully I can roll them elsewhere. I don't need, I need red robots. I was going to say I don't need white robots, but red would be nice. And then I get a red submarine, so I need to do a red action. I've already got a red submarine, so we can just ignore that and let's do these. So research action, we can cross off the red on here, and that's going to score me 2 points. And then a red robot, we can cross off the red robot here, and that is going to score me 1 point. There's no extras for octopods. And let's go again. So I don't really want to do crystal catching with those numbers. Maybe let's keep the red in case we roll a robot, and then we could use it for that. And maybe we roll a 2 for crystal catching. Oh, that's perfect. That happened just the way I wanted. Let's roll these. So we could potentially do 2 crystal catching things here, but I think it's going to score more points if we do. So let's do robot and red. So that's there, and that's 2 points. And then crystal catching, and that is going to be 2 points as well. Again though, no octopods. So I really want octopods in this last roll. And I can use submarines, so it's not as risky. Oh, and I rolled a lot of octopods, so let's just go for them right now. And roll the other 4. Submarine. I could do a green submarine, which would be worth 1 point to me. Maybe that would be good. Let's see. Research. I didn't roll a blue, so that's no good. Oh no, we're only going to get to do 1 action this turn, and it's going to be not very useful. Get a green submarine, which is worth 1 point, but we're not going to get any robots because this is the last roll. Research action. I didn't roll a blue, so that is no good at all. But for catching octopods, I'll use this space since I didn't get to do an action. There is no space on the bottom row for octopod actions in the solo game because you wouldn't normally do that. So let's look here. For octopod catching, I can cross these 2 off because I've definitely caught 2. And with my power, I get to use the submarine, even if I already used the submarine elsewhere. So that is going to score me 3 bonus points. So let's look at intermediate scoring. I have now got 2 red, 2 blue, and 2 white submarines. So that is 6 bonus points. And so overall, I don't lose 2. So that's 17. Wow, that's a really good round. I'm not usually scoring that high. And now, this little end game thing here, if we were playing not solo, there would be a majority bonus for the person who did the most crystal actions. There is just nothing at all there in the solo game. But this symbol here means look at the lab and see if you scored any extra points there. Now, we didn't get to the bottom here, but I did do the super level, which is going to let me jump down to the bottom of one of the columns. Now, the super octo could give me 4 bonus points since I went every phase without suffering a penalty, but I think this one is scoring me more points. So if I jump down to the bottom of here, I got to the bottom of 2 columns, which scores me 5 bonus points. So that's very nice. So I got 22, 36, 41 points overall. Now, the solo game is just beat your own high score, but it's so quick and fun that I think that's okay. And that's OctoDice, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. I will show you just one thing. The lab tiles are all double-sided, so you see, instead of changing a yellow on the black dice to anything, you could score extra points for doing octopod actions. And all of them are like this. And at the start of the game, like, this is the setup for your first game. But in future, you can flip these and shuffle them around. And as long as you keep the level the same, so you would flip these around and mess around with them, and that's your new level 0, and do the same with the other levels, and come up with a completely different lab every time. So there's a little puzzle that you can work out there of how to best maximize your lab. Whereas I think in the normal setup, it's best to try and get to this super level so you can jump down to whichever bonus suits you best. But there are different bonuses, so rows instead of columns in the lab, and points for getting submarines rather than getting catching octopods. And so that's everything. I think it's great as a solo game. It does lose a little bit, since in a multiplayer game you do have a little thing of should I get 2 chances to use other people's dice, should I use it now or should I wait for something better? But even without that, I do think it's quite fun. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you play some OctoDice. Bye!